If the Canadian institutions that regulate immigration and border crossings use images that are not showing refugees and asylum seekers in their visual representations, then what are they showing? These institutions are showing themselves. They portray an auto-representation in a sort of institutional selfie. In the case of Immigration, Refugee, Citizenship Canada, Department of the Government of Canada, what is represented is the migration process. The large majority of the images depict the instructions, regulation, and bureaucracy of the Canadian migration system. None of the images shows the many people involved in the massive migration application and processing efforts. This is very interesting, as other studies have highlighted the invisibility of the migration regime in Canada, a system based on the selection of migrants from a distance, the invisibility of the two-step process, and the invisibilities of exclusion. The findings of this research project on visual governance confirm this claim at the visual level and the additional invisibilities of the human component in the migration selection process. To contrast these images of the immigration process, the undisputed protagonist in the visual used by the Canadian Border Security Agency is the agency staff in uniform. If the migration regime at the bureaucratic level remains invisible, the people who are supposed to manage the border and ensure that migration is managed at the different Canadian ports of entry are extremely visible and visually prioritized. The study also found that CBSA portrays itself as a very inclusive institution, in contrast with traditional COP cultures often accused of hypermasculinity, racism, and discrimination. Nearly 10% of the pictures are explicitly linked to themes of equity, diversity, and inclusion, suggesting that at times the visual narrative can diverge from the mainstream narrative and institutional self-representation, and provide a space for a display of new visual patterns.